thank you for coming over again at HealthCare Boulevard. Welcome to your second tour of the Boulevard. I am your host, Sena Kapomo, and I am here today with Dr. Khan. We'll be chatting with him about his position as a PA, and getting a bit of a knowledge from him about what he does, how he does it, what he might advise, and I'm excited to get into it. So let's do it. Dr. Khan he's been a PA for 10 years. He's also a PA educator. Additionally, Dr. Khan also works in advocating for the profession, being PA profession, and making sure that the voices of those who count, being from PA students to current PAs, are aware of the decision makings and make their voice heard, and we progress to the profession. I actually learned a lot from what's happening right now in the PA profession from him recently on a section that he held for my cohort and our program as a whole. So we appreciate him for that. But I'll give him the word and let him add a little bit more about himself if he wants to, and we'll take it from there. Hello, Dr. Khan.
Hi, Sinan. Thank you for having me here. I'm happy to be one of your guests in the podcast, and I feel very honored to be here. Thank you. And like you said, yes, I've been a PA for 10 years. This will be my 10th year, and time flies, as you can see. And I've been practicing in emergency medicine. And I would say for the past, I really enjoy it in emergency medicine. And for the past 3 years, I've been also involved in PA education. I've been a preceptor for multiple PA schools in Southern California, from USC's to Chapman to Westerns, and right now I'm also an adjunct professor at University of Laverne, PA.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and thank you for that for being here. I'm going to start with the few questions and just have you take it away. And the first one I have for you is, how would you describe a PA to a lay person who maybe haven't heard of the profession?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I think that there are still many people who is not sure what a PA is. So the way I explain to them is that we PAs, we are medical professionals who are able to diagnose illness, to treat, and we're able to prescribe medications, and we are medical care professionals that practice in various specialties. And it could be in family medicine, it could be in emergency medicine, or in surgical specialties. So that's basically how I would explain to the patient. And we also work collaboratively with other healthcare providers, and with the physician, with pharmacists, with other allied health personnel, nurses, and basically everybody in the healthcare settings.
All right, thank you. You've been an ER PA for quite some time. What's your journey to get into ER? Have you always wanted to get into ER, or did that change while you're in PA school? And also, did you work in any other specialty before you got into ER?
So when I graduated from PA school, first, I actually worked in family medicine. And I really enjoyed working in family medicine.
Okay.
And I did that for 1 year. And I realized that I would like to do more. And in acute care settings, I really enjoy doing procedures. So I look into the emergency medicine fellowship for PAs. So I decided to do a emergency medicine fellowships at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center here at in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did, and I had a great time in the fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I work as a EMP, emergency medicine PA.
Mm-hmm.
After that,
Mm-hmm.
and here I am, still practicing. I just got off my shift last night and still practicing emergency medicine, and really enjoy it. And I don't see myself doing any other specialties. I may do some primary care here and there, but I see myself most likely stay in the specialties. Yeah, ER specialties.
Well, thank you for that. And how was the decision making to become a PA before, overall, like why PA instead of all the other options that healthcare in this country affords us, from MDs to NPs to even PT? Like, the options are vast in advanced practitioner. Why did you choose PA out of the other options?
Right. Great question. So, a lot of I get a lot of information from my friends and families. I have friends who were in PAs in school. They were already practicing PAs, and also families members who are in healthcare fields. They're MDs, nurses. So I talk to them. I try to get as much information as possible from them. So after all that, I realized PA is the best fit for me. I realized this profession being a PA already allows me to do things that I want to do in medicine. Okay? And it gives me the scope of practice that I want. I'm satisfied with the scope of practice and the autonomy that I get as a PA. Okay. And so that's why I decided to become a PA, to apply to the PA school. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And you are actually lucky to have folks around you, I feel like, because not everybody is lucky enough who are looking into healthcare have the opportunity to be exposed to different titles. I know I wasn't when I was choosing my title, so I had to get on the computer and look up physician assistant and what they do and all that. So that is definitely the best way to decide on a profession, especially in healthcare where we have so many different options.
Yeah, I tell you a little secret. My cousin actually told me to be a PA instead of an MD. So he's an MD, so he's
like, don't do it.
Yeah. But again, but doesn't mean that everybody has different experience, different path, different path. Right. So you take that information and you make your own decision.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Everybody's experience is totally different. You can somebody may tell you, don't be a PA, be the MD, be a DO, be a RN. So you have to do whatever is best for you. Everybody's is different. What everybody wants is different. Live. And my suggestion is really to go out there and experience, to shadow different healthcare professions, just to get out there. Right. Don't just read some posts online, because as we all know, internet could be, a lot of misinformation on internet, and so definitely just get out there and see what people do in real life.
Right. Yeah, and that is definitely the best way to choose on something as big as your career, because you essentially that's what you're doing for a long time, right?
Right.
And my next question to you comes in two parts, and that is, what's your favorite part of being a PA, and what's your not so favorite part of being a PA?
Sure.
So far, anyways.
Sure. So I think my favorite part in the profession is really, able to make a difference in the world. As you know, we're in a pandemic right now, and as a healthcare provider, a healthcare worker, a healthcare professional, we are the front line during this pandemic, and I feel really proud and to have the privilege to be able to really just serve the community. So I feel like that's my favorite part of the profession, to be able to serve the community in a time of needs. Yeah. My least favorite part of profession, probably more general, probably to all healthcare profession, is that I feel like the administration who are not clinicians are making a lot of practice decisions for us, and a lot of time is based on volume of the patients and based on money. And I understand why, money is important, but at the same time, it could be very frustrating and create a difficult practice environment. So I think that's my least favorite part of the profession, or just healthcare in general, I think. What else? I think another thing, of course, is the lack of recognition of the PA. I feel like we still need to advocate and promote the profession more. And after 50 years of the PA profession, there are still people who are confused about what we do. And we can go into that topic for another hour, but that's another topic that I feel like we could do more to advocate, as individual and as an organization.
Thank you for that. And that is as far as patients and being the front line, because you, like every other clinician, we are the front line. We are the ones the patients are seeing, right? So if administrations makes decisions that impact the patient in such way that they don't like it, we are the face. We are the face that they're looking at, like, oh, but why can't you give me this, or why can't I do this? And we are essentially feeling like effort, hopeless, because like, well, it's out of my hands. But they're looking at you in a white coat. Well, you're supposed to have the power to be able to help me. So it's definitely it can be icky. I'm sure. My last question, well, not my last question, I'm sorry. My next question is, what's your day-to-day like as a your PA? What's your shift? How many days a week you're working at this point, especially the pandemic? And you did touch on that a little bit, and I did have a question later to ask you how the pandemic is affecting your work, but feel free to answer that now. Is if you can walk us through the day-to-day of what you're doing, and also equally important, who you're interacting with as a ERPA. Are you working with NPs? Are you working with MDs, nurses, CNAs for that matter, and how that goes for you?
So the day-to-day as an ERPA, or just in the emergency room in general, is every day is different. Every day is a surprise. See a different patient every single day, and that's what is so interesting in working in the ER. That's why it's so fun, or it could be frustrating too at the same time. So every day is a surprise, good or bad. And for example, like yesterday, and I walk in, and it was really, really slow. Really peaceful day, but then all of a sudden we got hit with patient after patient after patient, and they're coming in like waves. So you just have to be able to have that capacity to deal with that stress, that amount, that volume of patients. And in the ER, as a PA, we do work collaboratively with MDs, with physicians, with pretty much everybody has to work together. RNs, ER tech, even the clerk who's in charge of the admissions. So everybody has to do their part to make sure that the patient is getting the best care they could get. If one part of that chain is falling apart, and it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad day. Yeah, and and you got to be able to deal with that, because there are bad days, as we all know. And you have to be able to overcome that. And what I love about emergency medicine is, again, a variety of patients. Like for example, yesterday I, just to pick some patient that I've seen, from draining abscesses, pilonidal cyst, to calling a cold stroke on a stroke patient who developed a right facial droop, numbness, and to a patient with a thoracic aneurysm, having complaints of chest pain, to what else? A gallstone pancreatitis, cholelithiasis, to a patient with a diabetic foot ulcers that eventually develop into osteomyelitis, and to a patient who had a fractured inferior orbital, and had a herniation that requires surgery. So basically, as you can see from all systems, from everything, every chief complaints you can get. So and also we see a lot of patient with social problems as well. Social problems, homeless issues, and psychiatric issues. So everything. Yeah, we cannot reject patients. So we see everything. We're the safety net. We're literally the safety net of the societies. We see everyone walks in. We have to do something about it. Yeah. So it's great. I really enjoy that variety, that excitement. Every day is different. And working in the ER, we operate differently from other settings. We really we are a team. Okay, if you don't have that team mentality, you shouldn't work in the ER, right? Yeah. We are working as a team. We have to work as a team. Otherwise, it's going to be bad. It's really bad for the patients.
Yeah, there's no one-man show in the ER. That's fair. Now, my next question is relating to your continued education. So the two things about you as a PA and in your professional life, that's not required to be a PA and practice, or even expected for majority of PAs. And one of them is that you went ahead and obtained your DMSc, Doctor of Medical Science, right? And this specific program, and please feel free to correct me, is specific to PAs who are practicing and who want a doctorate degree, right? And I'm sure, from my understanding, there's only a handful of programs across the nation that are offering that program right now. Why did you decide on this? Can you tell us a little bit more about that program and your decision to pursue that program?
Yes. So my professional goal as a PA is to be the best PA I could be, and I know that eventually a doctorate will be the terminal degree for PAs. That's what I think, because we came from a certificate program to a bachelor program, and eventually now it's a master program. And so, and also I feel like a lot of the PA program now, this should be a doctorate program. That's my personal opinion. And maybe just a few more classes, they're qualified to be a doctorate program. We probably be a PA program is probably the most rigorous master degree out there. Yeah,
it's definitely not easy.
That's probably the most rigorous degree. You spend the most of the time, whether in didactic or in clinical. Yeah, so I feel like we should be a doctorate program. And also, we're probably the only healthcare providers that who does not have a required doctorate. Yeah, one of the few healthcare providers. So my decision to do the DMSc really is to hopefully I could be involved in more of a leadership position down the road, or in education as well. So really just to broaden my options, give me more opportunity, hopefully give me more opportunity in different areas. Yeah. And what I like about the DMSc program, I did it at Lynchburg. university is that it offers many different pathways. It offers many different pathways for different PAs who are in different stage of their career.
Okay.
So I first heard about the program is from my residency, my fellowship, my emergency medicine fellowship director, and he told me about the program. And the program at Lynchburg actually partnered up. They have a partnership with Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, where I did my emergency medicine fellowship. And so the clinical component of the program is actually combined with the DMSc. Okay. So with the DMSc program, the pathway that I chose has a clinical component to it, which could be a year-long to an 18-month postgraduate training. All right. Currently, they have the clinical component with the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center is you can do a fellowship in the emergency medicine or orthopedic fellowship. Yeah. And so that's your clinical component. All right. And along with that, you have online courses in healthcare administration, healthcare law, organization leadership, and a doctoral project. Yeah. So and there are also education pathway that you could choose. This program. So, but I chose the clinical pathway. I chose the clinical pathway. Yeah. So that's why I really like the program. I like the clinical opportunity. And also, by the way, in the Army and the Air Force, okay, there are already doctorate programs at Baylor universities. This is for people who's in the Army or Air Force. They who have complete a postgraduate training in emergency medicine or orthopedic medicine. They will be awarded with their doctorate in science. Yeah. So that program has been around for over 10 years. So I believe they are the first doctorate program.
And is this specific to PAs?
It's specific for PAs, yeah. Specific PAs as well, who have completed a postgraduate training in emergency medicine or orthopedic surgery.
Yeah. So postgraduate training in this situation will be like a fellowship as you did after PA school?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, like fellowship, they call it a fellowship or a residency. Yeah. I think currently there are many, I don't know the exact number, but there are many fellowship/residency out there for PAs.
Right.
They're using amount of it. Yeah.
Right. And so when you were taking your classes online, because your school the classes were online, and then your clinical part, did you do another fellowship, or just because you were working in ER already?
So, so they actually took the credit that I did in the fellowship. Okay, they were able to accept those experience into my DMSc. Yeah. So if you want to go in right now, for example, you will start the fellowship at Arrowhead, whether it's emergency medicine or orthopedic. You're basically working as a resident, pretty much. At the same time, you'll be completing the program. Okay. See what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay. So, for how was the being in the program and continuing I understand you were still full-time ERPA, is that correct?
Yeah. So at the time, so once you're in the program, you're working as a full-time PA. You're working as a full-time PA. You basically you're resident, so you're working as a full-time PA.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And was that manageable for you, or did you is for any PA who wants to do this, and still, well, you're supposed to anyway be working as a PA. Was that too much, or was it not excessively?
It's manageable. Yeah. If I could do it, I think everybody can do it. Just you have to be persistent. You just have to have that energy to stay up late and wake up early and do a graveyard shift,
Right.
etc. Yeah, so it's doable. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And well, a lot of the questions I've had, you already answered them in this department anyway. And so this is one of the questions that I think for the most part you answered them, but I'll reiterate again. Do you think in the future this will be the norm for PAs, getting the doctorate degree essentially?
I think so. I think eventually, will doctor could be a terminal degrees. I think that I see that coming. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we came from a bachelor to a master. So yeah, I definitely see it coming,
Okay.
and I hope it will combine with some sort of a postgraduate training.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
And
like
how does he? Sorry.
yeah,
Okay.
like for I hope you will combine with some sort of a postgraduate clinical training. I think that'll be beneficial.
Right.
Ways.
Right.
But Lynchburg has different pathways, like I said before, that for educators to have a different pathway. So more options, I can say I'm really knowledgeable in this area, but I feel like maybe more options could be better. Many people have different options in their careers, where they want to go. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And you think that will essentially help us get into more leadership positions and more educational positions and so forth as as PAs?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I definitely think so. I definitely think so. Yeah. With the with all the other healthcare professionals becoming doctorates, I think we should be the same as well.
Right.
And
Right.
again, we already have the enough hours to be a doctorate, pretty much. We're the hardest master's degree out there. They spend as much time as us. So, yeah. So I definitely think that would be the case.
Right. Right.
And
Okay.
also, I feel like if they can combine with the postgraduate training, I think that would be very, very beneficial to a lot of new grads, especially. Yeah.
Right. Right. That's fair. Okay. And the other thing you do that's not necessarily the norm for clinical PAs in general is that you're also a PA educator, as I mentioned earlier. In fact, that's how I met you. And how how did you get into teaching? Was it something the opportunity just presented itself and you were like, well, why not? Or was it something that you purposefully sought out to add to your professional life?
I think I slowly, you can say, I guess, purposely try to see if I'm interested in education. So ever since in 2016, I started to send out applications to different PA school. I want to be a preceptor. So, and I send out application to local PA schools, Western, Chapman, UC, and just to see if I enjoy the idea of teaching. And then ever since 2017, I've been a preceptor.
Okay.
So I have precepted over, I believe, at least 40 to 50 students.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, probably 40 something students since 2017. And it was awesome, and it was great. I really enjoy bedside teaching. At the same time, I was really thankful for the ER, my team, to allow me to do this, and not to mention the doctors, the physicians, they also participate as teaching as well. So I get a lot of support from the physicians and from other PAs. So I can say we're one of the best emergency medicine rotation out there, and this was at St. Vincent Medical Center in downtown LA, which is currently closed at this time. So yeah, that was great. And then 2018, I was offered an opportunity to be an adjunct at Laverne University of Laverne PA program. So that's when I start teaching in the classroom.
Okay.
The first time. And I really enjoyed it. I found it very difficult, actually, in the beginning. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different than the bedside teaching,
Right.
and I really enjoy the challenge of the
Mm.
classroom. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's different, and it's fun. I can see myself doing it more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does your clinical work complement your educational work? Especially, I understand you do best precepting, which is bedside teaching. What about in the classroom? Does that complement your clinical life? Um,
Yeah, so I believe teaching definitely made me a stronger clinician
mm,
for sure. I really encourage everyone, you know, every PA or healthcare provider out there to, if you have a chance to be a preceptor, you should do it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Because when you explain stuff, when you to a student or answer student's question, you have to think about things, and you have to come up with a way that they could understand.
right,
You know,
right.
so I feel like that process really make me become a stronger clinician.
Mm-hmm,
Ultimately.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that because it's different between you knowing and practicing every day versus now you have a little future you next
Yeah,
thing you're
you
like
have
asking
to,
you a whole lot of questions,
exactly.
right?
You have to explain things much better, to students,
Right.
and that could be difficult for some people. You know,
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
but I think it's a great experience. I think that helped me become a much better provider.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you for that. And then I know you were I know you taught a couple other module, but cardiology was our first module that you taught in
Yeah.
NAVM, and that was fun having an EO PA teach the module. Um, Now, do you see yourself switching to full-time education in the future ever, or are you just wanting to do both?
I can see that. Yeah. This is my 10th year of practicing clinically. So, I can see that. I like challenge, and like I
Mm-hmm,
said, I feel teaching is challenging. It's hard.
mm-hmm,
It's different. It's different.
mm-hmm,
And I feel like that's a new challenge. And it's something that I think I can see myself doing it full time.
mm-hmm,
But still working the clinic, but maybe not as full time in the ER. Maybe not
mm-hmm.
as full time as a clinician, but I could see myself doing it, full time and teaching,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
still practicing maybe once a week.
Right. So switching instead of having full-time clinical hours and then part-time teaching is part-time clinical hours and full-time teaching.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think for a PA educator, it's important to stay clinical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, because
it
I think
is.
we should be able to. We need to teach the student to hit the ground and run, and
Mm-hmm.
we need to provide them with the necessary knowledge clinically right away as soon as possible, so they
Right.
can practicing. So I think that it is very important to bring that clinical experience into the classroom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Students can read a book. All the PA students are smart enough to read on their own. Okay, they hold up a book and they can read.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They,
Yeah.
but the clinical experience, the clinical scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we need to bring into the students.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know it definitely helped me when I was a student not too long ago at all. Every time, a lot of the things that's just stuck to my brain without me having to review too often, or things that either teachers in the classroom gave clinical experience examples to, or my preceptors gave me, explanations right there and then, and just connected the dots when we are seeing a patient or right after we see a patient. So it's like, okay, I remember this.
right.
It definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
Um, and have you had any, I mean, besides having to gear up a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, had to gear up a lot more, I'm sure, in working, any major changes to your profession as with the pandemic happening?
Oh, any changed because the pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Ever since the pandemic happened, it was interesting. In the beginning, the volume of the ER kind of slowed down. Everybody took the necessary precautions, but we see a sicker patient. We see a sicker patient, and then when people let their guard down, not wearing mask, and that's when we get hit really bad. Hit really, really bad. The ER was full. There were no bed. We had patients in the hallways, and it was a difficult situation at the time. Very, very stressful environment at the time.
Right.
Yeah. And but I think that we overcome it, and we now we know we have the experience, and right now it's getting a lot better as we speak. Right now it's getting much better. So yeah, but at the time it was pretty it was pretty wild, it was pretty wild, and I feel like this is probably the once in a lifetime things, hopefully that.
Right, that's what I hope so. I sure hope so.
It's a very interesting experience. Yeah.
That's fair. And my last question for you is, do you have any word of advice for future PAs or aspiring PAs, regardless of where they are in their journey of becoming a PA?
Yeah, so I always tell the students, the pre-PAs, right? The pre-PAs really understand the profession. Don't, like I said earlier, don't just read something online on the internet. Really get out there and watch and try to shadow as many people as possible, not just PAs, but different healthcare professions. Yeah, so you really understand what they do, and the pros and the cons of each profession. No profession is perfect.
Right.
Yeah, profession is perfect. So yeah, really understand what you're getting yourself into. I think that's very, very important part. Yeah.
Yeah, especially there's so much to consider when you're picking a career like this, and like you said, everything has its pros and cons. You just gotta be ready and understand that the cons of whatever profession you choose, if that is a PA, becoming a PA, then you're okay with that, and it going into it, right? You don't want to be surprised after 2 or 3 years of education.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and exactly, and also just make sure PAs do the profession that you want to do. There are not that many people, but some people they become they decide to go to medical school after, and I think you could, but it's probably easier for you just to go to medical school instead of do PA first.
Yes.
So so yes, really take that into consideration. You think about that.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to waste a seat for a person who really want to do PAs.
Right.
So, and at the same time, you're wasting a lot of time and money as well.
Because now you're accumulating the time and depth of PA school plus medical school. Because as far as I know, there is no shorter path to becoming an MD. Once you're a PA, we gotta start over just like everybody else.
There's a bridge program, but it's really not much shorter. Yeah, it's really not much shorter.
Yeah,
it doesn't make much difference.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought that's how I was, make sure the pre-PA understand that. This is what you want to do.
Right. Yeah. It's a big decision, and it's an important one. But that's all the question I have for you today. Do you have anything else to add or tell our audience or viewers?
Oh yeah, I mean, yes. Again, thank you for having me today. I feel honored to be on your show, and I hope that your listeners can learn something from me and from a real PA.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, not some anonymous online post.
I know. There's a lot of that.
So, but I think this is a great show, and hopefully your listener can learn something from our conversation today. And hopefully you continue with the show as well.
Yes, I definitely plan to. Thank you for joining us. And as I said again, taking the time off. You are very busy, as we've discussed, and I'm sure COVID is not making that any easier. And I'm very glad and appreciative of you joining us today. Again, has been a pleasure for me as well. And this is Healthcare Boulevard. Thank you for joining us. This is the end of our interview, our chat with Dr. Khan, who is an emergency med PA and an educator and advocate for the profession. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Hey, give me